Hey everybody, it's Tyler and welcome back to Wolf Tales. Right, then last we left off, there's two of them now. There are now two tails, yes. Mirari and Fuyu, apparently a soldier, quote unquote, from her pack. Though she's just wearing like blue jeans and a, well, ripped up blue jeans and an absolutely destroyed top, but you know, whatever. Anyway, I wake up bright and early as the morning sun lights up my room. In spite of the hellish blizzard from 2 days ago, it seems the weather has begun to clear up, and the freezing cold is becoming more tolerable by the day. At this rate, I'll soon be able to go outside without overdressing. Filled with optimistic thoughts, I leave my bedroom and return to the main living area. The moment I enter, a strong odor reaches my nose. I enter the room, but a strong odor reaches my nose, and I instinctively turn to look toward the kitchen. Come on. Isn't it done yet? No matter how many times you ask, breakfast isn't going to be ready any quicker. I watched pot never boils, and I guess watched egg never scrambles or something, I don't know. Or never fries, assuming you don't want, never mind, what am I doing? If you're looking for something to do, why don't you go wake up Addison? She'd eat me. Never mind. I'd rather smother her in her sleep. Huh. Just you try that, little brat. See what happens. Go away, update. Fuck off. Yeah! And then she fell. Hope she hit her head in the window. I'm just kidding. Fuyu jumps back in surprise as she suddenly hears my voice directly behind her. How did I sneak up on her with those big-ass ears? She should have picked up the... Oh, you're close. She should have been able to pick up the sound of my footsteps from a mile away. Oh, Addison, you're awake. You're just in time. Breakfast will be ready shortly. Please, take a seat. I'll bring the food out when it's ready. Oh, okay. I'll leave it to you then. Having no intention of stopping Mirari while she's cooking, I do as she suggests and sit down on the couch. Grrr. Miserable human preying on the princess's kind nature. Oh, shut up. It's not like I asked her to cook me breakfast or anything. Besides, you seem pretty eager to take advantage of her kindness yourself. Ooh. Just a second ago, you were sitting on the floor with your tail wagging like a dog waiting for its master to feed it. That might be a bit racist. Just saying. A dog? You comparing me to a dog? Well, yeah, that is what you looked like. Besides, dogs and wolves are pretty much the same anyway, right? They're related, but I would... No. Do not insult me, human. Wolves are nothing like dogs. The OG dogs. I smirk to myself as I enjoy Fuyu's reactions. Oh, how so? I thought dogs and wolves were descended from the same ancestors. That doesn't mean we're the same. Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't mix up a human and a monkey, ape, would you? Dogs are pitiful, subservient creatures who only know how to bow before human beings. Wolves, on their hand, are proud hunters who don't need the help of any other race to survive. Actually, these days, they need the help of humans to survive because humans have almost wiped them out. And even with human assistance, it's not looking too great for them. So a proud, independent creature like a wolf would never do something like, I don't know, sleep in humans' cabin and eat their food? Fuyu's face contorts in displeasure. I mean, she could always just phrase it as taking advantage of the situation, so, yeah. Her claims of independence hold little weight at the moment, given her current predicament. That's different, is it? Well, what about you? Me? Yeah, what are you even doing out here? This is no place for a human being to live, let alone a human female. What, were you exiled or something? Is this your punishment? Were you caught doing something heinous and banished from society forever? Yeah, that must be it. You did something unforgivable, and you were sent out here to live the rest of your days in solitude. That's not how that works. How could I have missed this before? I feel in danger just by being in the same room as you. A look of panic spreads across Fuyu's face as she slowly backs away from me. Would you please stop smearing my good name? This is defamation. I moved you out of here on my own free will because I don't get along with other people. That's it. Hearing my explanation, Fuyu stops backing away and begins to look at me with eyes filled with curiosity. You don't like other humans? That's the short version, yeah. Then, what about us? You and Mirari? Fuyu nods. You let us both into your home. And you forced your way into my home. And you haven't tried to kick us out or anything. Is having us here causing you distress? Not particularly, no. I almost reply yes without thinking, but before I can do so, Fuyu's puppy dog eyes kick in once more. Oh, but that is not why I said no. Looking at her pitiful, pleading eyes, I can't bring myself to call her a nuisance. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit weird to have you two here, but it's not the same feeling I get when I'm around the people. Because half-breeds aren't people. Is it the leap of logic I just made? Oh, God. Honestly, I'm having a hard time thinking of Fuyu as a person. Thank you. She really does seem more like a mischievous puppy than a rebellious young woman. Maybe it's because I like animals, but I guess you two aren't so bad. Stop it with the animal comparisons, for fuck's sake. That's just my impression so far, though. Given it a few days, I might think quite differently. Is that so? Fuyu analyzes my answer carefully. She doesn't appear to be particularly invested in my answer, nor does it bring her any joy. Her question was one posed out of curiosity with no ulterior motive. Well, I wouldn't worry about you changing your mind. After all, the princess and I won't be staying long enough for you to get sick of our company. No matter how warm it is here, we must return to our pack as soon as possible. Well, it works for me. A couple of nights is more than enough. I've done my good deed for the year. Now I just want to be left alone. I am in agreement with Fuyu's statement. I understand. I won't try to stop you from returning to your pack. As soon as the two of you are ready to leave, I'll see you off. Doop, doop, doo, doop. Fade to black. Okay, princess, it's time to go. Fuyu? What are you talking about? Please don't play dumb, princess. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You had your fun, now it's time we return to our pack. Already? But we only just... That's my point. We must leave now before we grow accustomed to this lifestyle. Not accustomed, that's not a word. Relying on humans is no good, princess. We must return to our own kind. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted with the music a little bit. Right. Once the three of us have finished eating breakfast, Fuyu wastes no time before making good on her promise. A satisfied smile indicative of a full belly disappears from her face, replaced by a serious expression and tone of voice to match. Do we have to go back, no matter what? I quite like it here, princess. Fuyu grabs Mirai by the shoulder. Do not be selfish. You have troubled this human girl enough as it is, not to mention the worry you've caused, you no doubt caused her kin. It's time for us to return. But Oh. Mirai turns away from Fuyu and casts me a sidelong glance. It's okay if I stay here a while longer, isn't it, Addison? Princess, I won't cause any trouble or do anything you tell me not to. I'll cook and clean, I'll help out as much as I can. So, please, princess. I avert my gaze as Mirai begins to plead. No matter the reason for her desperation, I can't afford to let her stay. My supplies were really only enough to last me through the winter, and there's also the ethical question of my interfering in half-human affairs. Plus, Fuyu said it herself, Mirari's family and friends are waiting for her. Her place is with them, not here with me. Mirari, please, Addison, just let me... I place my index finger on Mirari's soft lips. Shh, shh, no words. Just get out. Mirai, don't you think you've raided your family enough as it is? You belong with the rest of your pack. Ellipses? I understand. Mirai gives a bit of defiance that clearly shut her down. Her eyes downcast, she slowly trudges toward the door, not looking back even once. Thank you for not making this difficult, Addison. Mirai may act defiant at times, but she's a reasonable person. Hearing you tell her to go home should be enough. Yeah, no problem. Feeling bad about turning Mirai down, I find it hard to look Fuyu in the eye. As my eyes wander around the cabin, I suddenly realize something. Oh, hold on a second. I take a pair of coats off the coat rack and present them to Fuyu. Here, take these. It's cold out there. You'll need to stay warm and we're about the same size. In response to my offer, Fuyu shakes her head. I appreciate your kindness, but I'll have to decline. Our tolerance for the cold is significantly greater than that of humans. Because magic. And anything less than a blizzard, garments such as those will only get in our way. Oh, I see. Oh, that's your explanation, huh? I'm taking a look at the outfits Mirai and Fuyu are wearing. Indeed, there's nowhere I would dare to dress so sparingly out here, nor would any normal girl. If these two are comfortable wearing so little, they must indeed have a far greater tolerance for cold than I do. Go away, update. In that case, I guess this is goodbye. Maybe I'll see you two again someday? Don't count on it. We'll live on the other side of this mountain. We're not for the snowstorm we would have never met to begin with. This shall be our final farewell. Confidently asserting so, Few turns her back on me and heads toward the door. I'm wondering if this is scripted in general, or if this is because I didn't necessarily show a whole lot of quote-unquote interest with the whole prying thing. Could be. Might be scripted. Don't know. We'll see. If it is, I'll just go back and redo the questions, because whatever. Or the choices. Oh, wait. Confidently asserting so, Few turns her back on me and heads towards the door. As she does so, however, puppy dog eyes. Mirari no longer seems ready to leave. Mirari? Mirari's eyes shift back and forth. It seems like she wants to say something to me, but can't quite bring herself to speak. Come along, princess. Let us not delay our departure any further. At Fuyu's command, Mirari lowers her head and walks along obediently. Mirari slowly unlocks the door, then regretfully sets foot outside, gently pushed along by her dear friend. Moments later, the door slams shut, and at last, I'm all alone once more. Well, it's continuing for now, so I'm assuming, as of this moment, that it's part of the scripted events. For the next hour or so, I find myself wandering around the cabin aimlessly. Having already slept and eaten, there's honestly very little remaining that I need to do. I have enough supplies to last for a while yet. It's too cold outside to think about working, and my hobbies are all the types to be enjoyed while resting idly. Put simply, I'm bored. Solitude may be its own reward, but the cost at which it comes is clear. There's nothing to do out here during the colder months, and even when things warm up, the choices can't compare to those available in the city. At least with those two wolf girls around, things are a bit more lively. Other people are a nuisance, but a pet could be just what I need. Okay, you know what? That being said, what kind of pet would be suitable here in the middle of nowhere like this? Thank you. I was going to say a very big dog. Like maybe a husky or something. Okay, yeah, I say a big dog. A dog that's acclimated to colder climates, like a husky, for example. Giving myself something to think about, I decided to turn on the radio in the kitchen. After adjusting the frequency and waiting for a short while, I'm able to receive the weather forecast, which paints a rather placid picture. Maybe I should go out and get some water while it's still mild outside. The weather can change out here at the drop of a hat, so it never hurts to have a surplus. Woods! I grab my coat and head for the door, resolving myself to be slightly more active than usual. Before this pleasant weather changes for the worst, I'm going to shore up my supplies, just as any prudent survivor should. Snow. Nice gradual shift. Who the hell thought I'd be ready to fetch water? Everything's turned to sludge out there. The entire landscape has changed since before the snowstorm. I hurriedly closed the door behind me as I returned from gathering water. Unfortunately, my trip proves fairly fruitless, since the spring from which I usually gather drinking water has been temporarily blocked off. The snowstorm has shifted the terrain, making my usual routes either inaccessible or far more dangerous than usual. Screw it, I'll just stay inside after all. It may be boring to stay indoors all day, but at least it's safe. Still shivering slightly, I regretfully removed my coat and flopped down on the couch. Covering myself with a blanket, the same one I used to cover the two sleeping wolf girls yesterday, I settled myself in and tried to make myself comfortable. Let's see now. Where to put the remote? If it isn't within arm's reach, I'm not getting up to look for it. I look around the immediate vicinity of the couch. Unfortunately, the remote is nowhere to be seen. It's probably still in the kitchen from when I last watched TV while cooking. Guess I'll just sit here then. What a fun person I am. That word is a lie. As I sit in silence, I notice a faint sound. It sounds like a voice, but it's too quiet for me to understand what they're saying. Oh, great. Now I'm hearing things. Maybe I've lived alone out here for too long after all. I try to ignore the voice by focusing my mind elsewhere. However, the voice doesn't disappear. It seems to cut in and out with ample static cropping up between words. What the heck could that... Alright, the radio. Oh yeah, really, you don't say. I unintentionally rise to my feet and turn toward the kitchen where I've left the radio turned on. Seeing how it's battery powered, I figure I better turn it off if I'm not using it. Before I can do so, however, I hear something ominous from the other side of the radio. Bad weather incoming. Avalanche last night. Passive changed. Advising caution. Phew, it was worse than I thought, huh? Now I'm definitely not going outside. I turn the radio off and grab the TV remote, which is sitting on the kitchen counter. I then return to the living room and sit down on the couch, remote in hand. Okay, now, where were we? Oh yes, let's find something to watch, shall we? Now, what did I start watching last time? Before I turn on the television, I go to wrap myself in the blanket I'd used to cover myself just a moment ago. The second I go to do so, however, I feel a chill run down my spine. Oh shit, the girls. Contrived plot reason to get them back in the house. Victory! They wouldn't know about the avalanche last night or the bad weather that's about to hit. They get caught up in that and they find their path back home has been blocked off. Those poor girls might be... Well, of course I'm gonna go... It's like, oh, yeah, they'll probably die or break into someone else's house and die. I better go find the little... Ah, hell, how can I sit back and relax when those girls might be in danger? I can watch TV anytime. For now, I've got a couple of wolf girls to track down. Get in the Jeep. Get outside. Covered in several layers, I head out into the frozen wasteland before me in search of the two wolf girls. Upon starting my drive, I quickly realize the cold is the least of my worries. As noted earlier, and the radio confirmed, all the usual scenery has changed since I last ventured outside. Familiar landmarks are gone. The backing track disappeared. Paths have been blocked off, and solid ground has been replaced by sleet. If I'm not careful, I might wind up getting lost or stuck myself. Okay, now, where would those two girls have gone? I've never been to the other side of the mountain, but if memory serves, I follow a vague recollection I have of the map I purchased when I first moved out here. The actual pathways have obviously changed since then, but my memory gives me at least a hint as to the direction in which I should be heading. Now then, if I remember correctly, it should be this road here. Or at least it was, back when there was a road. I come to a stop as the road I'm following appears to end abruptly. A few 100 feet in front of me, where there would generally have been a road, there is now a huge pile of snow. From my point of view, it's impossible to bypass. I love this little piano track, by the way. Just gonna enjoy it for a second, because I'm a sucker for really, well, I'm a sucker for piano, just put it that way. From my point of view, it's impossible to bypass. Oh man, I guess the road is blocked off after all. Maybe there's a path or something that I just can't see from here. I'm moving a bit closer. I force myself to get out of the truck, shivering as the blizzard rages. My legs may be weary, but my stomach is full and my body's warm. Those girls are out here, I'm gonna find them. Mirari! Fuyu! Are you two out here? Ellipses. Mirari! Fuyu! I call up the girls' names as I head closer to the obstructed pathway. As I near the wall of snow, a vague figure appears up ahead. Squinting, I try to discern the identity of the being in front of me. Mirari? Fuyu? Addison? Fuyu! I'm just having a fucking... never mind. Hearing Fuyu's surprised exclamation, I rush over to the figure up ahead. Once I get close, I realize it's not just Fuyu. Mirai's with her too. However... Addison, please help me! Mirai suddenly collapsed while we were walking, so I carried her myself, but the path is... I know, most of the paths have changed or been blocked off. You won't be able to get through here, not today. Eh? But then, what do we do? Mirai's unconscious. She needs somewhere warm to rest and something to eat and... Calm down, Fuyu. If you panic, you're just going to make things even harder on yourself. For the time being, you're both coming back to my cabin. I'll help you to carry Mirai back there, and we'll make sure to keep her nice and warm. No, but we couldn't possibly... I wasn't asking. You take one arm, I'll take the other. Got it? Yes, I understand. It's for the princess, then. If it's for Princess Sama... Fuyu comes to her senses and grabs hold of Mirai tightly. I did the same, grabbing Mariah's other arm and wrapping her arm around my shoulders. Like so, Fuyu and I begin to carry the unconscious princess back toward my truck, braving the hellish blizzard once more. And on that note, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.